Hey guys, how you doing? In this video, we are comparing the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 with the standard Galaxy Watch 9 in 44mm. Not only on the spec sheet, but most importantly side by side on the wrist. Even though the size designations of these two models are only 3mm apart, they feel like two very different watches. The Ultra 2 is noticeably larger, heavier and more prominent, while its actual display is only slightly bigger. So today we're going to find out how noticeable the size difference really is, whether the Ultra 2 actually shows more content, and which watch feels more comfortable in everyday use. Now my wrist measures approximately 90 centimeters or around 7.5 inches, which should hopefully make it easier for you to judge how these sizes might look on your wrist. Let's start with the official dimensions. The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 measures 47.4 by 47.1 millimeters and is 10.7 millimeters thick according to Samsung. The 44mm Galaxy Watch 9 measures 46 by 43.7 millimeters and is noticeably slimmer at 8.6 millimeters. The basic case designs are actually quite similar. In a direct comparison, the Ultra 2 almost looks like the Galaxy Watch 9 that has been enlarged in every direction. There is more case material surrounding the display, the entire watch is thicker, and it takes up significantly more space on the wrist. This is why it immediately looks much more substantial, even though the overall shapes are not that different. The difference becomes even more obvious when we are looking at the weight. Without the band, the 44mm Galaxy Watch 9 weighs 34 grams, while the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 weighs 61.5 grams. That makes the Ultra 2 27.5 grams, or roughly 81% heavier. Put in another way, the Galaxy Watch 9 weighs only around 55% as much as the Ultra 2. It is not quite half the weight, but it comes surprisingly close. These official figures only include the watch cases, so both models are heavier once their bands are attached. The Galaxy Watch 9 band is 22mm wide, while I measured the Ultra 2 band at approximately 24mm. 2mm may not sound like much, but together with the larger case, the wider band makes the Ultra 2 look and feel even more substantial. So both watches fit my 19cm or 7.5 inch wrist without any problems. I don't think the Ultra 2 looks too large on me, but it is clearly the more noticeable watch, and it is much harder to forget that you are wearing it. The Watch 9 immediately feels lighter, it barely bothers me while typing or during normal arm movements, it sits relatively flat, and it also fits more easily underneath a tight sleeve. With the Ultra 2, I can definitely feel the additional weight. Samsung has made it noticeably slimmer than the previous Ultra. The older model was officially 12.1mm thick, while the Ultra 2 measures 10.7mm. Compared with the standard Watch 9, however, it is still 2.1mm thicker, and more importantly, significantly heavier. If you like large watches, you may actually prefer this stronger presence. During a workout, however, the additional mass becomes more noticeable, especially during quick arm movements. I also find the lighter Watch 9 more comfortable for sleep tracking. You can obviously wear the Ultra 2 overnight as well, but you remain much more aware of it on your wrist. The wider band holds the Ultra 2 securely in place. Even so, if you want a smartwatch that feels unobtrusive as possible, the Watch 9 has a clear advantage. The Ultra 2 feels more like a rugged sports and outdoor tool. Now we come to probably the most surprising part of this comparison. The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 looks significantly larger overall, but its actual display is only slightly bigger than the one on the Watch 9. The Ultra 2 has a 38.5mm or 1.52 inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 498 by 498 pixels. 44mm Watch 9 has a 37.3mm or a 1.47 inch display with a resolution of 480 by 480 pixels. The difference in display diameter is therefore only 1.2mm. Both displays are protected by sapphire crystal and support an always-on display. According to Samsung, the Ultra 2 can reach up to 5000 nits, while the Watch 9 reaches up to 3000 nits. This gives the Ultra an advantage in very bright sunlight. When it comes to the amount of visible content, however, the difference is surprisingly small. I used the same default font size on both watches. In the main settings menu and inside the different submenus, both watches show almost exactly the same amount of information. The Ultra 2 does not automatically display smaller interface elements just because its screen is slightly larger. The same applies to several apps. The Google Play Store shows the same amount of entries on both models. I also couldn't find any meaningful advantages for the Ultra 2 inside of the weather app or the different Samsung Health sections. The WhatsApp notifications preview also show roughly the same amount of text. It is only after opening WhatsApp itself that the Ultra 2 actually displays a little bit more of the message. The difference is visible, but it is definitely much smaller than the difference between the two cases would suggest. That is one of the most important findings from this comparison. The Ultra 2 has a slightly larger, higher resolution and brighter display, but if you mainly read notifications, scroll through menus or use regular apps, you usually won't see significantly more content than you do on the 44mm Galaxy Watch 9. Of course, the additional size of the Ultra 2 is not only there for the display. Its titanium case is designed more specifically for sports and outdoor activities. It offers 10 ATM water resistance, IP69K protection, dual frequency GPS, an additional quick button, and DIN EN 13319 certification for diving equipment. Inside, you get 2 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. The Watch 9 also has 2 GB of RAM, but only 32 GB of storage. Both models use Samsung's latest Wear OS interface and offer very similar apps and health features in everyday use. The Ultra 2 therefore justifies its larger size less through additional display content and more through its rugged case, larger battery, and extra outdoor capabilities. If you mainly want notifications, health tracking, sleep tracking, and normal workouts, the Watch 9 provides a very similar software experience in significantly lighter case. The Ultra 2 has a much larger 800 mAh battery compared with 445 mAh on the 44mm Watch 9. Samsung claims up to 80 hours without the always-on display and up to 60 hours with it enabled. I'm still carrying out my full real-world battery test of the Ultra 2, so I don't want to give you a final verdict on its actual battery life just yet. In my Watch 9 battery test, the 44mm model still had 37% remaining after 24 hours. If you calculate that usage in a straight line down to 0%, it works out to approximately 38 hours in total. You can find the complete test results in my separate battery comparison. For me, the 44mm Galaxy Watch 9 is the more comfortable everyday watch. On my 19cm wrist, it looks large enough without feeling oversized, and it doesn't bother me very much while working, exercising, or sleeping. The Ultra 2 is the better choice if you deliberately want a large and rugged watch. It looks more distinctive, has the brighter display, a much larger battery, and better protection for demanding outdoor activities. In return, you have to accept the extra weight and its much stronger presence on the wrist. I personally wouldn't choose the Ultra 2 on because of its larger display. In most menus and apps, both watches show almost exactly the same amount of content. The Ultra 2 makes more sense if you generally need its rugged design, longer battery life, and specialized outdoor features.